Goeiedag, Sawubona, South Africa. Dumelang, South Africa. Welcome. This is Chris with Indaba Africa once again. It's Wednesday, May 13th, 2020 here in the United States. Earlier today, President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed South Africa for the first time in 3 weeks. However, it's already May 14th, after 3 o'clock in the morning in South Africa. Now, why do I discuss that date? That's important because of a Twitter conversation that took place between John Steenhuisen, the federal chair of the Democratic Alliance, the leading opposition party in South Africa, and a response from Cabanac, who is a YouTuber and a journalist, a lawyer from South Africa. So Steenhuisen says, to lock down hard and fast was the easy part. It required no real leadership, analysis, or courage. The hard part that requires brave leadership and honest analysis is to know when to end the lockdown. We need to do it. We need to end it now. It was a typo here, so I'm reading exactly the error here. Tonight, President Ramaphosa said very little. I would have to echo the DA federal chair's position on that. Ramaphosa did say very little and left many of us confused and bewildered as to what exactly he was doing on television. A lot of speculated it has a lot to do with, many people speculate it has a lot to do with public pressure on him, including from the opposition, about his absence, his Where's Waldo routine for the past 3 weeks, not addressing the country in the midst of this virus as the economy implodes and the unemployment numbers surge and people become increasingly desperate across South Africa. People have been wondering where the president is and why he's not on television explaining this to everyone. So John Steenhuisen has been critical of him most recently the past couple of days, but also the speculation over the internal struggle within the African National Congress between the Zuma and the Ramaphosa camps. What with the minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma publicly refuting the president's comments after he lowered the conditions for lockdown 3 weeks ago. She came out publicly and stated that cigarette sales would be banned, despite the fact that they were permissible under the lockdown standards. That ban has stood, and it shows evidence of the internal struggle within the African National Congress. But back to Steenhuisen's tweet on Twitter. So he writes that about the lockdown, saying it must be lifted, and Cabanac in response tweeted, the DA must stop asking and start doing. To which John Steenhuisen, tantalizingly, said the following: be patient, Roman, one more sleep. And hence the title of this video, One More Sleep. What does the DA have in store for us on Thursday, May 14th of 2020? What will they say about South Africa's lockdown? Will they urge the public to behave themselves? Will they call for some other measure? What will happen? We're all left wondering. But let's put this all in perspective, ladies and gentlemen. What's happening in South Africa? To this point, the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in South Africa is 12,074, with 219 fatalities attributed to COVID-19 out of a population of over 57 million South Africans. Now, of the 12,000 cases, 119 are currently in serious or critical condition. But a total, I say that again, of 12,074 cases, 219 confirmed fatalities attributed to the virus. Now, the most recent report on death and mortality in South Africa would be the mortality and causes of death in South Africa 2017. Now, this report was just released on the 26th of March 2020 because it was embargoed. Statistics South Africa only released it just a little over a month ago, about a month and a half ago. So that report indicates that in 2017, the most recent year we have mortality data for South Africa, 446,544 South Africans, or people in South Africa, died. So nearly 500,000 people in South Africa died in 2017. 51,164 of those were unnatural deaths. Unnatural deaths, of course, would be accidents, traffic accidents, home accidents, electrical accidents, and of course, homicides, murders, things like that. If you look at the numbers of COVID-19 fatalities, 219 attributed, and you look at the top leading causes of death in 2017, today, after 6 months of the Wuhan coronavirus being loosed on the world, South Africa's mortality of 219 cases would rank that the 18th ranked cause of death in the country. Now, we don't know what the true figures are because we won't know for some time after this year is completed how many people actually die in South Africa as a consequence and where it ranks. But just comparing to the most recent data after 6 months, and even if we extrapolate this and say it even doubles, triples, or quadruples, say it goes out to 800 or 1,000 deaths attributed to it, that still leaves it way down in the order of leading causes of death in South Africa. For instance, in 2017, tuberculosis accounted for 28,678 deaths, or 6.4% of the deaths in South Africa. Type 2 diabetes, 25,336 deaths, HIV is attributed to 21,439 deaths. Hypertension, 19,900 deaths in South Africa. Influenza, 18,837 fatalities in 2017. Assault, which is in lumped together category which appears to include homicide and murders, 7,627 people died in South Africa from unnatural causes related to assault. COVID-19, 219 fatalities. And because of this, the country must remain on lockdown. Cyril Ramaphosa made an interesting statement today in which he said, we, of course, are the party of collaboration and consultation. We consult and we are transparent. What he meant by that is that they consult with the public to get the public's view on things. I don't think so. I think the only consulting taking place here seems to be in the National Coronavirus Command Council and not, in fact, with the public or scientists or doctors, because the data does not seem to support the position to retain a lockdown and gives no justification whatsoever for the ban on cigarette sales or even continuing the ban on alcohol. The government presents no data to explain to us the deaths down. They simply say crime is down. We have lower incidence of reported crime. Well, yeah, because a lot of people are victims of crime and not going to police stations, among other things, not to mention all the unreported crime that's taking place behind doors. Assaults, gender-based violence, rape, incest, things that people don't want to talk about, but they do happen on a daily basis across the country and around the world. But in South Africa, in its draconian lockdown, this is the situation. So, after Ramaphosa's speech, we now wait for the Democratic Alliance's response. One more sleep, South Africa, and it's nearly over for most of you. You're at the end of it. Now, for those of you who follow my site and tune into my channel, you know that I tend to put rugby banners or scarves up on my map behind me, and I wear a rugby jersey for my prepared videos. And so here today I'm wearing Western Province, and you may be looking at the board and going, wait a second, that's the Bulls, you're wearing Western Province. And if you're really paying close attention, you'll notice that I have a light blue t-shirt on, which is not a Western Province color. Sacrilege, is it not? Indeed, it is sacrilege, my friends. If you're a Western Province supporter, as I am, it is sacrilege to be carrying the Blues colors and wearing it under my jersey. But it's just an example of how confused and upside down the world is. How we're being run and controlled by totalitarians, whether it's in Pennsylvania, and I'll do a separate video about Governor Wolf's behavior and his director of public health coming up shortly. Whether we're in Pennsylvania, we're in the United States, we're in England, UK, we're in Germany, South Africa, Italy, wherever we are, or even China. The world is upside down. The autocrats are running the show, and they're stealing our liberties, and they're feeding us garbage, manure, and leaving us in the dark, yet professing to be transparent and open with us, as President Ramaphosa did today. So let's see on Thursday, May 14th of 2020, what one more sleep does mean. I am waiting with bated breath to hear what John Steenhuisen and the Democratic Alliance have to say on May 14th. I hope I'm not disappointed. I hope it's nothing crazy, but it's something that makes a lot of rational sense for South Africans. But let's see what happens as South Africa continues to grapple with the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19. Once again, 12,074 cases of COVID-19 confirmed in South Africa to this point, with 219 fatalities attributed to it, making it, based on 2017's mortality statistics, the 18th ranked cause of fatality. Now, bear in mind that this is just 6 months into the virus. We have another 6 months to go as South Africa enters the winter season, and those numbers will climb. But will they climb to a number to justify the wanton destruction of South Africa's livelihood, its way of life, and starvation and penniless poverty for millions of South Africans who are becoming destitute over this chaos and this crisis? If you're not a subscriber to the channel and you like the content, I ask you to subscribe to the channel. I smash that little button right down there. Be sure to push the little bell icon to get updates for when I give a live stream, my Stray Voltage impromptu live streams, or my scheduled live stream every Saturday, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with a guest, and at 5 o'clock Johannesburg time, or to get these prepared videos. So if you've got comments or questions, leave those in the comment section. Positive, negative, you want to contribute, you want to debate, I'm happy to do that. Abusive comments will be ignored, however. And also, I ask that you smash that like button down there. Not if you liked it, but if it inspired or raised questions you'd like to talk about, just smash that like button, because likes drive viewership. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Hang in there, South Africa. Just one more sleep, my friends.